Legend has it, an anthology myth-making game for one or more players where you pull story prompts out of your own books. Surrounding me here are the remnants of a completed physical game. I just wanted to show you at the beginning, but let me get it set up real quick for play, and I can explain how it works. Recall. And now we will stack the transition cards in reverse order with the first one on top. We will fill our display with our phase 1 cards, and we will start by adding the first transition card, the starting game card. And now, we'll pretend I'm playing this one-player game. So we're going to shuffle the number cards at the start of the round. We have our timeline card. As the only player, I am the storyline selector. I will choose the only storyline available to me. Storylines, of course, are the lines on the cards. And this storyline it has the little air symbol on the timeline card. So we know that this storyline is going to pull from page 193, paragraph 6, sentence 2 of the book of my choosing. I will choose the first book from my stack, which is Reaper Man by Terry Pratchett. So let's go to page 193. Paragraph 6, sentence 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ridcully looked around him. So now it's up to me to take that sentence, Ridcully looked around him, and turn it into the start of a new story. And we will say, let's draw from the top here. Of our mythos types. There are 6 mythos types that you could choose from to start the game. So we'll say that I have chosen the religious text. So the religious text means that my story is going to make up the text of a religion or some belief system in a world that we're creating as we play. And so whenever I'm interpreting a prompt, I should keep that in mind, that this is, especially this first one, this is the first story of our religion that makes up our religious canon. So Ridcully looked around him. We can jump right in with this and say that Ridcully is an important figure in this religion. Our very first story of the religion starts with Ridcully. Whoever Ridcully ends up being, I think we'll learn as we go here. Ridcully is just in an important place and looking around. And so then we'll move to the next phase. The timeline selector, again, just one player right now, so that's me. We'll grab a new card from the display here with the timelines. You can either choose one from the current phase, and phases represent how many concurrent storylines there are. So 1, or you can pick a transition to jump us into the next phase. I'm going to go with this. I want to keep learning a little bit about Ridcully before we move on to anything. So, of course, we'll shuffle our number cards. We've got the little fire symbol. So, page 314, paragraph 6, sentence 7. That is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wendell smiled awkwardly. So, getting some really stunted sentences out of this book, which is pretty good for the start of a thing. Wendell smiled awkwardly at Ridcully. So we're building up our basic story of this religion. We've got 2 gods, Ridcully and Wendell. Wendell is the kind of god of, let's see. Wendell is the god of social grace. And as the god of social grace, Wendell doesn't have that much. So Wendell's smiling awkwardly at Ridcully, who is looking around. And let's keep diving in. I'm going to pull this one to end this storyline. So we're going to get one more sentence from this book, and then we'll get a sentence from another book to start a new storyline in our religious canon. So I will shuffle once more. This is Wind, so page 912. This is a 300-some page book. So we'll just wrap back around to page 12 by dropping the hundreds digit. Paragraph 3, sentence 6. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. and no one said anything is the prompt to finish this. So I think we see Ridcully and Wendell, Wendell smiling awkwardly, Ridcully looking around. I think this is the creation of the world. It's just these two strange gods, one of which grows to become the god of social graces, at the very least, looking around. One of them's looking around, the other one's smiling awkwardly because I think Wendell knows what's about to happen. And Ridcully closes their eyes and reopens them, and they're standing within the universe that now exists. So, of course, this also has a new story. So that's that storyline ending. You can see by the triangle, that's a complete line. And then a new one begins. And when a new one begins, we pick up a new book. So this time I'm going to grab as yet I haven't read this, The Dawn of Everything, A New History of Humanity by David Graeber and David Wengrow. And I'm going to go to that same page in paragraph. I'm guessing this might be... No, it's also not. Okay, so I'm also going to go to page 12. You can also do some sort of wraparound for the page number, but I find it's easier and simpler to just go to... Just drop the hundreds digit. So that's what I prefer to do. Paragraph 3. 1, 2, 3. Sentence 6. Let's see. These are much longer sentences. He wasn't saying there had actually been a time when everyone lived in such a primordial state. So I think, we're flashing forward a little bit here. The universe had been born in our last story with an awkward smile. And now we're just jumping right into, humanity exists. The people who are telling these religious stories to each other kind of arrived fully formed. There's no primordial state to this world. We just see ourselves in, humanity's first city. So then we'll add... Just to continue this little demo, we'll add this new card. So this is the first transition card. And what happens when you do that is you'll clear out all of the phase 1 cards and we'll jump to phase 2. So we'll get these new cards in the display and then we'll continue on. Shuffle our number cards. So I will continue this storyline that comes from The Dawn of Everything. Fire. So that's going to be page 731, which again, yeah, this is a 600 page book. So sadly, just page 31. Fire, paragraph 4, sentence 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sentence 6. Oh boy. Of course, such historians typically frame this position as a critique of Western arrogance. How can you suggest that genocidal imperialists were actually listening to those whose societies they were in the process of stamping out, but it could equally well be seen as a form of Western arrogance in its own right? Now, I think we're seeing that actually, maybe this story started in our religious canon as a story of how humanity just started existing, and this city was the first city. But I think we're seeing a bit of a rift in this religion where, no, that is arrogant. That is something written by the people that, the powerful people that lived in that city. In fact, there were many, many, many more societies, maybe even primordial societies that existed that led to the creation of that city city then squashed out and deleted from history. And that's the whole thing. So we've got another new storyline. So I will start from the third book that I brought to do this little demo, which is The Raven Tower by Ann Leckie. Let us turn to page 31, paragraph 4, sentence 6. All 13 districts of Iridan, each one represented in the Council of the Directions, sent volunteers to do this. I think we're seeing, maybe this is perhaps another city, not the founding city that is being described in the first or in the other story. This is a different city of people that are trying to find like the true origin of the world and trying to go and look for what really happened. So I think that's what that storyline would be. And then, as the game, if the game were to continue, we would then select a new timeline card. This one storyline would end, a new one would begin while this one continues, and we would do that again and again. Let's say transitioning up to 3. This is all player driven. They could choose whatever they want to choose, and of course, when you transition up to 3, you clear these out of the display and you add the 3 cards. Let's say one of those gets added, storylines are continued, another one gets added, storylines are ended and continued and ended. And then finally, this final transition card will be added. This is the end game card, the last thing to ever happen in the game. You end all of the storylines, and then you're done. Then you walk away. Then you've got this pile of stories that you just told, and they're interwoven and very fun and cool, and I love it. So yeah. That's how you play Legend Has It in a nutshell. That's a little demo of the game. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you will back the Kickstarter when it comes, or maybe the Kickstarter's long past and you're finding this. Go buy it now. AtomyBell.games is where you can find where to buy it. Kickstarter.AtomyBell.games is where you can find the Kickstarter if you're watching this sometime before February 15th, which is the last day of the Kickstarter. So the Kickstarter is launching January 25th, 2022. It will be a 3-week campaign, hoping to, raise enough money to get a nice big print run of this so that I can have it around and sell it and get it into your hands. I hope that you want this game because it's really fun. Pulling the storylines out of the books, or pulling the story prompts out of the books to advance storylines, has been an absolute blast every time I've played it. Even this little demo where I wasn't trying to really dig in very much. Like, I'm interested to hear more about this religion. Yeah. Thank you for checking this out. Thank you for watching, supporting, whatever it is you do. Tell your friends, etc. Have a good day.